Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. I'm gonna record. It's recording. Sharissa, 20 minutes or so, and then we'll get into shift picking. Sorry we're a little late, guys, but hopefully we got enough covered today. So, all right, Sharissa, the breakthrough formula.
Woo!
Everyone treat
I
yourself.
I have been very excited to give this talk because every time I have done a breakthrough, whether it's personally or professionally, like at the fair at Cowboy Christmas, these are literally the seven things that I do every single time without fail. And without fail, I have a breakthrough. And so I know that if I can follow these seven steps, you can follow these seven steps. And I'm going to go pretty rapid fire through them because I have like a very special treat at the end that we'll all do together. And I would love to know also, like, while we're having this conversation, going through the seven steps, like, what stands out to you? Like, what's a nugget? What's something that you're like, okay, I'm not doing this and I need to do this? I will give a little disclaimer that if you're not trying to have a breakthrough, then this talk doesn't apply to you. So unless you're like actually trying to do something different and move different, then then this talk doesn't apply to you. But if it does, like really hear me and really listen and consider like what are you doing and what are you not doing and like what's the gap in between like doing a little bit more in that step. So the first step is belief. Right now, I want you to either take your phone or a pen and paper and think about a goal that you have for this year. And we're going to walk through these seven steps for this goal. Maybe this is what you want to sell at the fair. Maybe this is what you want to sell for the month. Maybe this is, becoming a CSP full time. Whatever this is for you, put that goal, write it down at the top. The first one is belief. And you have to get really honest with yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you actually believe that you can really hit this goal? And it's okay if it's not a 10. And in fact, if your goal is big enough, it shouldn't be a 10. Like that's kind of crazy. Um, so if you're being really honest with yourself between a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, oh, I got this in the bag, and one being like, there's no way I can do it, where are you in that belief? And then we're going to use this at the end with my little special treat that I have for you. Number two, decide. You're not deciding that you're going to hit this goal, deciding that you're all in. The second step is to decide. You have to decide if you're all in or not. Really quick on the power of the decision, there's never been a breakthrough that I've had where there wasn't a moment where I made a decision. Anytime I fell short on my goals, it's never decided that I was all in or not. And so taking the time, and for me, it takes some time to like warm up. Like I have to kind of think about it. I have to think about my capacity and like what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do to hit that goal and decide if I'm all in or not, or decide what my capacity is and at what level I'm willing to give all of myself to this goal. So the second step is decided. I've said this story a million times, but it's worth saying again because again, anytime something, whoa, can you guys hear me okay? It sounded weird. Okay. Anytime something big has happened in life where transformation or like something in business or sales, I made a decision. When I was getting my little promotion, when you get those little pins, I remember like I was not all in or not in Cutco, and I saw TC, Matt, Brittany, Eric in the back of the room. And I said to myself, I don't know how these people sell knives full time and have this amazing lifestyle, but I'm going to figure it out, and those are going to be my friends. And I literally made that decision, and that's the life that I'm living right now. When I sold over 90K at the fair, I literally made a decision that I'm committed to going all in. When I sold a Cutco kitchen at Cowboy Christmas, I literally decided I am ready and primed to do my best and sell a Cutco kitchen when that opportunity presents itself. Anytime something as big has happened, I've made a decision. So you have to decide what all in looks like for you, what your capacity is, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. Number three is obvious, know your stats. Before I went for doubling my fare, I asked Matt, like, hey, is this even possible? He's like, what are your stats? So I knew my order count from last year. I knew what my average order was. I knew how many, or I knew what the gap was. Whatever that gap is, whether it's raising my average order or having more orders, I knew what the answer was going to be. And like, it goes back to like, what does that look like, right? That goal, what does that actually look like for you? So knowing the gap in your stats between where you're at and where you need to be and what it looks like to fill that gap. So number 4, what tools or skills, if you want to go next level, tools and skills, what tools and skills do you need to add to your repertoire? So a tool can be like an accountability partner. A tool can be like an audio that you listen to, right? Skills can be like, okay, I'm focusing on closing better and more often and bigger. Skills can be practicing your scripts. Number 5, what support do you need? If you're going for something big, you need support. You need to be able to lean on someone when you start doubting yourself. You need to be able to lean on someone when things get really hard. You need to be able to lean on someone when you want to celebrate and somebody who can celebrate you and be there with you. So, what support do you need? And know who those people are or what kind of support, what that looks like. For example, really quick on number 4, tools and skills. Like I knew for me, one of my tools would be the morning powwows, like without a doubt. And then I know that that is like a success pattern now, having that level of support or accountability. And so what did I do for Cowboy Christmas? I was like, hey, who wants to get in a group chat? I'm going to do this every day. You can decide what it is for you, but let's just say like, hey, I did it, right? Nobody wants accountability, but it just helps. It just kind of helps. And I know it works for me. Number 6, this one's big. What are you adding and subtracting in your life? Remember, this is why I said like this talk is for a breakthrough. Like if you're actually trying to move different, if you if you're trying to have a different result and do the same thing, you're not going to get it. You're not going to hit that goal. You have to be willing to sacrifice something. You have to be willing to add something into your life and take something out of your life. I guarantee you right now, if I were to ask you what's something that you can be subtracting from your life that doesn't serve the higher purpose, and you're not subtracting it forever, you're doing it for 30 days, 40 days, just this span of what a breakthrough looks like for you. What are you subtracting?
Oh,
So, for example, I could in 10 minutes of listening to talks every podcast that you really want to learn, something you're trying to do for yourself, right? Um, Adding could be like practicing your scripts every morning for 10 minutes or listening. I already said that, listening to audios. Subtracting could be like, what's that little habit that you have every day that is kind of wearing out? It's kind of time to go. Um, I recently I recently subtracted a little habit that I had at the end of the evening to wind down, and I took that habit out of my life. And honestly, like it's not forever, but it's just for now. And I feel so clear, like I feel so good, like mentally, physically, emotionally. And the power of number 6, what are you adding and subtracting? It's something you're bringing in and something you're taking out. Why this matters to you is because you are activating your will through a lot of these steps, but mostly number 6, you're activating your willpower, your motion forward, your discipline, your commanding to say like, I am so much bigger than my mind, I'm so much bigger than my habits, and I can actually decide when I can decide what's a yes or a no in my life. And how you show up to what you add and subtract in your life is exactly how you're going to show up on the path to this breakthrough. Number 7, surrender. Now, surrender doesn't mean you give up. Surrender means you have asserted all of your will. You have done everything possible to hit this goal, but guess what? You're not in control. You can't control who walks up to the booth. You can't control how busy or slow an event is. This was something that was so key for me when I worked Cowboy Christmas this last year. Um, Personally, like if you guys were to see the event, you would be shocked at what I sold. You would be shocked at the fact that I sold over 40K in 10 days. Like if you saw the flow of traffic and who we were talking, you'd be like, how the hell did you do that? It's because of these 7 steps. And at the end of the day, you can't control who you talk to. You can't control if that lead answers your phone call or not. Um, but when you go through number 1 and number 6, and you have asserted your will and you've done everything possible and you have created the right environment for the road to meet you, for that goal to meet you, for God to be like, okay, I see that you really want this now. Here it is. Now it's time to surrender. And for me, like this is especially good when this especially surrender works really good when it's getting really hard. And just an example of that is at the fair when I sold a Cuckoo Kitchen at 10 p.m. And it was like my second order of the day because I was checking in with my belief, because I had already made a decision that I was all in, because I knew my stats, I knew the gap between where I'm at and where I need to be, because I knew the skills that I needed to have in my life to make that happen, because I had the right support, because I had something I was adding and subtracting out of my life, and I surrendered to the result. One of my prayers that I add every day and is God, like, fuck my plan. I want your plan. God knows I cuss. It's okay. I want your plan. Show me the next steps and give me the courage to take them. Fuck my plan. I want your plan. Show me. Show me your plan and give me the courage to take those next steps. So that's maybe a little, in your own way, you can make your little own surrender prayer. Okay, now I have my little special treat for you. Who's ready? Who's ready for my little special treat? Okay. So we're going to do a little mindfulness practice. And I first want to set this up to say this is going to sound a little weird. Um, and I just encourage you to use your imagination. Just use your imagination. Just imagine, just be like a child and use your imagination. Because there's there's a limit to what we know today, right now, and to what we will know in the future, like once we hit that goal. And something like a practice that's always worked really well for me is like whenever I feel like I have to figure something out or it just feels a little bit cluttery on like the path to take it, I feel like there's this future version of myself that already has the answers. Like I feel like there's this future version of Sharissa that already walked the path and is like wanting me to just be like, "Hey, walk with me." Like I want to show you, right? So for me, I did this practice in a very powerful way. Um, when I wanting to increase my belief to double my sales for the fair. And before I did this practice, I really doubted it like 100%. I'm like, there's no way I can double. And obviously, I more than doubled. And I did this, I was like, oh, duh, like, duh, totally, I can do this, you know? So, whenever you're ready, you can get comfortable and you're like alert, but you're relaxed. And you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. This will be short and sweet. And then afterwards, I want to hear, I'm making this talk fast specifically because I want to hear some takeaways when we're done. Go ahead and relax and just take a deep breath and relax your jaw and your shoulders. Now, imagine yourself, you're like sitting on the edge of your bed or like your couch. And this is like the version of you right now. And in front of you, there's a whiteboard with a goal thermometer on it. Remember that back in the day, a goal thermometer. And at the top is that goal that you wrote down. And next to this whiteboard is the future version of you that already hit that goal. And he or she just filled it all up to the brim. Now notice there's a difference. There's a little bit of a difference between the you that's sitting on the couch or on the edge of your bed and the future version of you that already saw it all work out. What do they have that you don't? What kind of posture do they have? What kind of embodied confidence do they have? And the question that matters the most right now, and I want you to just listen or sense for the answer, is what does this future version of you that's so proud of you that you did it, that's like literally smiling at you and it's like, you did it. What do they know that you don't know? Another way to think about this is what do they need you to remember? And we'll just kind of sit in silence for a couple seconds. You can let that answer, just trust the first answer that comes to mind, or the feeling that you get, or a whisper that you hear. And if you don't hear a whisper, you can always come back to this. What do they know that you don't? And I know my future version, when I do this practice, even right now in this moment, I can just feel like, wow, like she has so much, she's so like proud of me. She just looks at me with like so much pride, you know? And I wonder for you, like, what's that like for you? How does this future version of you look at you? What's the sense that you get? And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and write down in your notes or on your paper, what does that future version of you need you to remember or to know? And I'd love to hear, we have time for like maybe 3 minutes of takeaways. Whatever your takeaway is, it'd be helpful for someone else to hear. They can take your takeaway. Matt.
First off, thank you for this message. It was amazing. Fire. Um, I hope everybody listened to that seriously because if you actually apply what she talked about, you're gonna have a breakthrough. My goal I put down was 200K in business gifts this year. And when we were doing that exercise, the answer came like this. It was start doing the work you've been avoiding.
Wow. So
Simple,
good.
but it just came so quick. Just
Yeah.
I already know what to do. It's like, but it's like, okay, well, what's the difference? Who's that guy standing at
Yeah.
the whiteboard? He just did the work I've been avoiding. That's it.
Yeah. Such a powerful reminder, right? Amazing. Yeah, one or two more quickly.
What I took from it, what Julie that reached her goals took away from it was I was telling my current self, like, you are unstoppable, like I have all these things, all of the ingredients to hit those goals. I am virtually unstoppable. It's just a lot of the times it's me getting in my own way about things. And I know I talked about that with you a little bit, but yeah. So future me was telling current me, like, you are unstoppable. You have all the ingredients, like, just do it.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Awesome. Love that, Julie. I'd love to hear any takeaways from the breakthrough formula of 1 through 7. Anything you wrote down that you're like, ooh, I could do that. Just one last share.
I really
Yeah,
like
you should.
hearing, I'll be
Go
quick.
ahead.
Really like hearing the seventh spot about surrender. It's like you already did all the work. Now it's just not in your control anymore, but you're there waiting, just like you waiting till 10 a.m. to close the kitchen, then that decision, you're just there, present, and just aware of opportunities as part of the job. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Austin. Eddie, you'll be the last one. I knew you were going to say something.
Yeah. So what I had as my person telling me it was something simple as just practice your scripts, internalize your scripts, master them. And I went back and looked at the 7 things, and I was like, dang, like I can do that. And then like just kind of go through the 7 steps and just know that it's that simple. Just got to do it.
Sick. I love that, Eddie. That's awesome. I'm saying I've been wanting to give this talk for a long time because I feel like there is a formula to how I've had literally every single breakthrough, and this is what it is. So thank you, Matt, and thank you guys all for giving me the opportunity to share.
Sharissa, can you do us a huge favor? Can you make a simple document that people can print, download, that literally just has those 7 steps? Call it Breakthrough
Yeah.
Formula by Sharissa. Something that like is so just reachable for people because I think that's such a powerful, like simplistic way to remind people like what it takes. And whether it's all 7 steps or just like a couple of them, like they were just powerful. So perfect. Yeah, like just send that. Send that.
Yeah, I've got it right here. I'll just add like a little
Do the
thought jugger next to
WhatsApp
it.
group chat. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. You're the best. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop the recording.